Welcome to the latest episode, or not necessarily the latest episode because it all depends on when you're going to be listening to this episode. You could be many episodes further down the track. Anyway, I've lost the plot, and this is an episode of Reece's Reviews with your co-host Matt and my other co-host Reece. I am damn awesome that I flew overseas and came back and made a YouTube video. Cashel, so how are you, mate?
I'm great.
It's been a couple of weeks.
It has. At least our audience hasn't had too much downtime away from us. I think it's only been maybe about 2 weeks, but yeah, I'm back. I'm back in the land of the living, back in reality. But I thought I was over there. I make a point, like when I go overseas, I kind of like. I think our audience has noticed on YouTube where I like to go to different cinemas and different places and kind of experience and show the differences. And I thought, well, I'll be in a different country. I'll see if I can check out a brand new cinema. And whilst I was in South Africa in Cape Town, I went to one of their local cinemas down at the VA waterfront. And our audience is intrigued, it's on our YouTube channel.
And you know what? It surprised me when you sent that through because I'm going, I wonder how he's going on his trip, because I was going to squeeze in a solo episode for the podcast, but I didn't have enough content to get me through because what I had planned, I had a lot of things interfere. So I couldn't do that, unfortunately. But you came up with some great YouTube content on your traveling. And so when I got that came through, I just got, this is so cool. I was quite envious. Yeah. So the more that Reece decides to travel, hopefully the more cinemas that we get to see at various places, because if you're a cinephile and you'd like checking out random cinemas, keep following us on YouTube for YouTube only exclusives.
Yes.
So, for us anyway. From us. So if you're going to check out that, and it also dovetails with Reece doing a review of Crime 101. So it's watching an Aussie perform in a cinema in South Africa. You can check out that review of Crime 101 on that video. So thank you, Reece.
No worries.
All right. Well, I guess it is time for...
the countdown.
Jeez, it's still going.
It's still going.
Yeah. Oh, well.
No more updates on the Doomsday front. I'm actually kind of surprised we haven't got anything to do with Spider-Man Brand New Day yet, because that's coming out first, and that's coming out in about 4.5 months. But,
everyone thought, something will come out for Super Bowl, but nothing.
Well, about a week before the Super Bowl, they kind of Marvel and Disney announced that they weren't going to release anything for Spider-Man and Doomsday. So they put their money into a stupid TV spot for the Mandalorian and Grogu. So
and we already know how you feel about Mandalorian and Grogu.
I love the series.
The movie.
This movie made my honorable mentions for my most anticipated. So
speaking of which.
Segue.
Yeah, I couldn't have lost that one anyway. But I just want to squeeze into, by the way, before you get into your honourable mentions of awesomeness, that I watched a trailer today, only a couple of hours before we recorded this episode, and A24 have released a teaser trailer for The Backrooms. And if you know what The Backrooms is, I'm not going to go into a deep dive at all because it is quite complex, and if you're an internet savvy meme person back in the day, I don't want you looking into it and discovering that you're going to have to delete your cache afterwards. But I've always seen little clips on YouTube and TikTok and all that. It's just think office rooms, office spaces that are empty, isolated, and it's just really creepy. So, and usually there's a bit of a horror story behind it. So, so that's very intriguing. That's all I'll say. Anyway, as you were, or you were because you hadn't even started yet, because I decided to segue myself into your honourable mentions. So ready when you are, Reece.
Alrighty, so
Time's ticking.
Time to tick in. Gonna bring down the countdown. So going into our entertainment honorable mentions, and this is a kind of a rehash about something that it wasn't 100% confirmed, but we brought it up in a previous segment of entertainment honorable mentions in our past, but now it's been officially kind of confirmed. It's out there. It's done. It's pretty much been announced by the Hollywood Reporter that a new Mummy movie is indeed coming.
Oh, is that
with Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz returning with Radio Silence, the directed team behind the Ready or Not series, as well, are teaming up with Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz to bring a sequel of The Mummy.
Great.
So, from what they are saying about,
but the thing is, though, what are they going to do with Maria Bello? Are they?
Well, that's the thing. Maria Bello was playing the same character, so they're just bringing back Rachel Weisz.
Okay, yeah. So I know that was scheduling conflicts. Hence,
and I don't think Rachel liked the script for two. So they said, as per the Hollywood Reporter, the franchise is back from the dead. Radio Silence is set to direct. The filmmaking team of Matt Bertolini-Olfren and Tyler Gillett. I apologize if I mispronounced that.
So is directed by Stephen Summers. Is he coming back to it?
No, that's the thing. Radio Silence is set to direct. So this is a filmmaking duo of Matt Bertolini-Olfren and Tyler Gillett, who broke through with their clever and fun horror movie Ready or Not, and are also known for helping. And then they also directed the revitalized Scream movie, which was Scream 5, and then they follow up this year with Ready or Not 2, Here I Come. That comes out this year as well. So they are responsible for that. So Sean Daniel, who produced the original movies with his late partner James Jacks, is back as producer. Joining him are frequent Radio Silence collaborators Willem Schrack, James Vanderbilt, and Peter Neinstein, who were produced by their Project X Entertainment banner. Project X was involved in Radio Silence movies such as Abigail, Scream 5, and Scream 6. So the fact that you got the team behind Ready or Not 1 and 2, Abigail, and Scream 5, that has me intrigued. But I just hope that they don't steer too much into the horror and they keep that fun adventure side of what the Mummy movies are. So,
because you already saw what they did with Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pretty much, and the article just pretty much goes through and tells about pretty much what the other films are.
How funny would it be if when they make that fourth Mummy movie and then you just see Tom Cruise running by in the background?
Yeah, no.
And he'll just go, "Oh, sorry, wrong set."
Yeah. So you got pretty much a bunch of the article just goes through and pretty much rehashes what the series is about. It says it is unclear who else will return besides Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz. One source describes that the project as not a reboot, but rather a sequel that will disregard the events of the third movie.
Oh, okay.
David Cogswell wrote the screenplay. Universal has no comment on that. So
you know what? It'll be just a dream. So,
well, I think they'll just retcon. So they'll just disregard anything that happened in Tomb of the Dragon Emperor and just make a direct sequel to The Mummy Returns.
Fair enough.
So that's what I think. So I'm so giddy about this news. The Mummy 1 and The Mummy 2 are one of my all-time favorite films. I always have so much fun watching those movies. They're adventure-filled. They are.
I still remember watching the first movie, like for the first time. I didn't see it at the cinema. I ended up seeing it on Laserdisc. So, and it was when I first watched it. This is like 1999, 2000. No, sorry, not 1999, because that's when the movie came out. 2001-ish. And my old music teacher, who once we graduated, we became good, like myself and a mate of mine became good friends with the music teacher. He was only like 5 years older than us, and he was always into his tech. And during school holidays or whatever, he invited us over to the music room. And he got installed a huge whiteboard, and he had a projector, and he had the Laserdisc thing set up, and so we had all beanbags in the room, and we watched The Mummy on this makeshift cinema screen in the music room, with all the sound and all that. So it was like nearly a perfect home cinema back in the day, and it was sensational. But I did see The Mummy Returns. I remember seeing it with my girlfriend at the time in Newcastle at Charleston Cinemas. Or Charlestown.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
well, it's got given an official release date as for here in Australia of the 18th of May, 2028. So it should go into production sometime next year in 2027. Sure. So that's been the official release date. So I'm so giddy about this news. I think there's a lot of discussion about how well this film will do, if it's past its prime. Does this movie have an audience with the line? I mean, I just think that
you said it previously. You said it with the 4 words, or 4 words being 2 names: Brendan Fraser, Rachel Weisz. That's it.
Yeah,
that's
it.
And
I think that's you've also got like a lot of people. I think the people who are saying that are forgetting a lot of things. Like no one thought that we will get a Top Gun sequel. And we got that over 20 years, about 20 years later, and it was an absolute massive success. So I think the craze these days about these legacy sequels coming back and kind of giving us a rehashing. I think a lot of people, when they think about those Brendan Fraser's Mummy movies, if you just regard number 3, you just feel like you can't help but smile because they're full of adventure.
And the fact that Brendan Fraser, no doubt, like, them coming on board, they would get a major executive producer credit for it too, because they know that the fandom is right there, and it's because of the fans who want them to come back on board. It's like, oh, you got to make another one. You got to make another one. So I think the studios are slowly realizing that, if the fandom is there, they'll do it. They'll make the effort and spend the money, and they'll reap the rewards.
Yes, I think they will. And I think that if the current way things are going within the film industry kind of thing, way to think it is, if you have all these legacy sequels coming back, one of your most anticipated films of the year is getting a legacy sequel this year with Practical Magic 2 coming back. That's another legacy sequel. So you're having all these resurgence of his... Don't
tell anyone else that I like that movie. Oh, wait, I already admitted that.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. So I'm so pumped up for this. It's one of my all-time favorite films of all time, The Mummy and The Mummy Returns. I mean, I have such a sentimental value to this film. I think this is one of the first films I watched because, just like you said, this came out in 1999. I was 10 when this movie came out,
right, and I was in year 12 in high school.
And my mother took myself and my brother to see it at a Generic Street Cinema in Campbelltown here in New South Wales, Sydney, and I remember having a ball. Absolute ball.
You must not read from the book. Yeah.
Oh, I dreamt about this since I was a little girl. You dreamed about dead guys?
Yeah.
Looks to me like you're the wrong side of the river. I could quote that film back to back. It is so fantastic. But overall, what's your first initial reaction when you heard about this news? And do you have any expectations? Do you have any worries about the film?
I have zero worries as long as they don't try to make it too serious, they can make it dark, but as long as...
Keep the essence, keep the tone.
Yeah, and you know what? Just for the hell of it, they should just squeeze in a running joke of like a little scorpion, really chunky CGI scorpion. Because you did have those spin-offs as well, so...
Yeah. Themes.
Yes. Themes. Nice Anaconda reference there. But, it's going to be... I think it's going to be great. I have high hopes for it, and as long as they've got the humour in it. The humour is the key, because the dry delivery of Brendan Fraser, he knows how to deliver a line. And
yes,
Brendan Fraser is the internet's favourite person, kind of on par with Keanu Reeves, where everyone just loves Keanu Keanu. Everyone loves Brendan Fraser, so.
Yeah. I think you've got
and plus he was done wrong as well by Hollywood. So
yeah, and I think you've got.
I think.
Go ahead.
I think it's going to be good. So no matter what, it will be it. I think this will be like, yep, this is the Brendan Fraser that we know and grew up on.
Yeah, I just think I'm just waiting for the next announcements of John Hannah and Oded Fair. As long as I'm just waiting for those two more announcements, because if you don't bring anybody else back, you've got to have the core four, which is Brendan Fraser, Rachel Weisz, John Hannah, and Oded Fair. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you bring back Arnold Vosloo with Emotep, because even though he's I don't know, because it's a really hard thing to say, because you've got the first two movies.
He's in hell.
He's in hell. But you've got the first two movies around Emotep, and then the third one tried to get away from Emotep and didn't work. No. But that was also down to the script. That was
but also don't forget they got a son as well. So
yeah, but if they're going to what the sources say when they're going to disregard, I don't know how
his son. But the son was in the second movie,
second one. Yeah, so it really depends on how they're going to write it. So I'm just pumped. I just want to see Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz back on screen together. 100%. I love that couple. Yeah, their chemistry was just perfect. So, but that is the first topic. So please let us know in the comments and where you put your comments, what you think about the news of The Mummy returning to theaters in 2028.
Cool.
Now, going into the second one is kind of following on from our previous one and still sticking on to the topic of The Mummy. And we're going to talk about The Mummy Returns. Now, this movie is celebrating 20...
formerly known as Two Mummy, Two Returns.
Yes, Two Mummy, Two Returns. Now, this movie is celebrating 25 years this year.
Oh, jeez.
25 years. And with the anniversary becomes a re-release. This is coming back to theaters in March this year, giving fans an experience to experience a chaotic, creature-packed sequel on the big screen once again. Now, I'm too sure if it's going to be released worldwide or if it's going to be steering to, the re-release is going to be sticking to North America. But if I have a chance to see this movie back on the big screen, you can bet that I will take it. Bad CGI, Scorpion King and all. I do not care what anybody says. Even though I love the first one, it is still superior. I thoroughly enjoy The Mummy Returns. They delve right into the love of the love story between Evie and Rick and their very backstory with her visions. The comedy is dialed up to 11. The action's done even better. The quick whips of Brendan Fraser is done so wittily. I can watch The Mummy Returns or The Mummy equally as many times. I just love it so much, and I can not if they bring back here in Australia, I'll be there to rewatch it again on the big screen, because I remember watching the sequel again with my mother, and we both loved it so much, and we had a blast. And when you want these movies, and that's what we were previously saying about the first one, these are fun, they're adventure, they're action-packed, and they're filled up with, they're multi-genre layered films. You got an action film, an adventure film, you got a romance film, and in certain points, especially with the first movie, The Mummy, a little bit of horror.
Now, do you think if they re-release, when they do re-release it, do you think they'll update the CGI of?
No. No.
All right. Well, other than that, the whole CGI for the movie overall, except for that one part, is phenomenal. It holds up. For something that was made in 2000, 2001, especially the moment where everything with the pyramid collapsing, like everything's being sucked in. And I always thought that is just visually amazing. So,
yeah, some of it's a bit dated. Like Stephen Summers' visual points are sometimes it is questionable, but you kind of disregard it because you're so swept up into the adventure.
Oh yeah, yes, that's the thing. So yeah, but yeah, I'm looking forward to rewatching it.
So yeah, that's been re-released. So what's your appreciation of The Mummy Returns, and what do you think
as
about
I've
it
already mentioned,
potentially getting a re-release?
Well, as I said, I saw it at cinemas in 2001 at Charleston Square when I was meant to be on holidays in Newcastle, and and had it on DVD for a long time, and it was great, and I really didn't care about how the Scorpion King looked, but it wasn't until the internet and YouTube. And people.
I didn't really notice it. But the thing is, I watched it when I was like, I watched it when I was like 11 or 12. So I didn't pretty much.
I was lost into the story and the action.
Yeah, but I wasn't an avid film lover as I am now. Now that I look at it, I kind of think. I think it brands with you.
Yeah.
I think it's like that bad CGI has some of its like its nuance is part of it. Like you can't you just find it funny as hell when you watch the Scorpion King come out at the end.
Yeah, and the fact that as well with the movie that they copied and pasted, the whole part with Imhotep's face. They went sand, and then this time they went water.
Yeah,
but I honestly, it's a firm favorite.
Yeah, I can quote both of those movies back to back. I love them so much. I think I would watch them every year. I just love those two movies. I don't watch number 3, but 1 and 2, I just love. So that was just a quick little segue off the back of our first one. I just thought it would be good kind of touch on, and I'm really hoping it does get a release here in Australia because I'll be there. So that is wrapping up the second of the topics. Now, coming into one of our last ones here, and this is also coinciding with a franchise that, when it comes to the genre that's a part of, is my favorite. I'm absolutely, when it comes to it. Now, as I am a filmography lover, I am a fan of pretty much all genres, and one of those genres is indeed horror. Mm-hmm. My favorite franchise in the horror franchise has always been Scream. Yep. I love the fact that it's not a supernatural side of thing. What makes it haunting is that it's not a Michael Myers, it's not Texas Chainsaw, it's not Freddy, it's not Jason, where they are kind of supernatural beings, but they keep coming back. We have a new villain sort of way in each installment, and it's a kind of a mystery horror where you don't know who the villain is, and it's always how you always got to look out for certain things throughout the narrative of the story to find. And then when the reveal at the end is, did you pick up all the little Easter eggs that they left for you to kind of make it up? So it's one of my favorites. Wes Craven made a fantastic franchise, as he's known for. He did Nightmare on Elm Street. He's done Scream. And so I'm a big fan of this franchise. Now, I will be seeing this film. It comes out as a recording of this podcast this week. So I'll be seeing it opening weekend. And as per deadline, Scream 7 is to yield $60 million in the global debut. Second best start for the 30-year-old franchise, horror franchise box office. So it's expected it's projected to gross $60 million globally on its opening weekend.
Nice.
So pretty much has no Paramount and Spyglass Scream 7 has no intention of slowing its slide of the box office, with the latest installment in the 30-year-old franchise bound for $60+ million worldwide start. That would rank as the series' second best opening, following 2023's Scream 6, starring Jenna Ortega and Melissa Barrera, which posted the best domestic opening ever at $44.4 million and global at $66.4 million in 50 territories. Scream 7 is the sole big wide entry on marquees this weekend, playing on 3,500 theaters in the US and Canada and 52 offshore markets. So this is also Scream 7 also has another big pull, because after Scream 6 took a rare detour for Manhattan, Neve Campbell's Sidney Prescott is back in Pine Grove, Indiana, where Ghostface broke out. Her daughter is the target, and pretty much goes on with there. And original Scream scriber Kevin Williamson finally is in the director's chair for the 7th quill, which is a big deal for fans. Williamson co-wrote the script with Scream and Scream 6, and Ready or Not screenwriter Gunn Busick. So I am so thrilled about this, that Kevin is finally, he's always talked about how much this franchise means to him. He's been there since the beginning, working with this film, this franchise with Wes Craven. He actually did he's with some of the marketing he's doing for this film. He actually, because Scream 5 and 6 weren't, of course, Wes Craven passed away shortly after 4. He wasn't involved in 5 and 6, but he actually made it aware what his original plans were for Scream 5 and 6. So if anyone is interested in that, I don't want to take up too much of our time, but just go and look up Kevin Williamson's pretty much interview relating to Scream 7 and his thoughts about and what was going to be Scream 5 and 6, and see what you think about his vision, what would have happened if they were to continue it down that route. Which one of the things I would say about that interview, which is kind of upsetting, and I know you've only seen 1 to 5, but I'm going to spoil something about number 5. So just be warned for you, Matt. I'm going to spoil something out of Scream 5. Dewey does not make it out of Scream 5.
Oh, shock horror.
So, and he said that in his version, Kevin Williamson's version of 5, Dewey would have been killed. So they went, oh, it's a shame, because I really love the Dewey character, but that was a heartbreaking. When I watched Scream 5 and I saw that, I was like everybody else, gut wrench when that happened. But I am so looking forward to number 7. Nev Campbell is back. Hello, Sydney. I cannot wait. I love this franchise. I'm going to see it with. I'm pretty much almost a packed out cinema. And just to see that Kevin Williamson is finally in the director's chair, so he gets to direct it. He also co-wrote the script, which is fantastic. And the fact that you've got it also co-written by Guy Busick, who wrote the script for Scream 5, Scream 6, and Ready or Not, has that style that Scream needs.
Can I mention I've got a quick Scream story, right, from the first movie. So I saw the movie. It was one of my first movies I saw when I was 15 because it came out in 96, and being MA rated, and I was 15 that year. And so when I saw it at the cinema, what was quite interesting was that we saw it with a bunch of fellow, how do you do, fellow kids type thing.
Yep.
So saw it with a bunch of school friends and so forth, and then there was other school kids as well in our year who went as well, but we didn't hang out with them and so forth. And one of them was, I will say, quote, bully, unquote. Not really a bully, but just someone who liked to annoy me throughout my high school year. And I was always one step ahead of him. So, and I just, it's one of those pick your battles type thing. I just let him, I'm thinking one day he'll be made the fool. Anyway.
Oh, beautiful.
Yes. So we went and saw Scream, and he was sitting in the row behind me. And I noticed, and I was still keeping an eye out, and just in case they're trying to startle me and everything else, because him and his accomplice. And so during the movie, the accomplice disappeared and came back about 15 minutes later. I'm thinking, wow, that's one hell of a toilet break. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, this is when Granny Mays existed. Granny Mays and What's New. So what they had done is he had come back, and then I hear this rustling noise, right? And then about it, and then I felt something fall underneath the seat, like it tapped the back of my foot, and I've just gone, oh, I know what this is, and then I tapped it back a little bit, right? And then next thing you know, you hear this pop noise, right? And it was an old. Like a stink bomb type thing, where it was in a bit of plastic, right? Like foil, think like a small chip packet. And you have baking soda within the packet, and then there will be a plastic capsule within inside, and that will be filled with vinegar. And so you would pop the little bubble or the little plastic packet inside the pack, like crack it, and so the vinegar will mix in with the baking soda, and so it'll expand the bag and eventually will pop, right, and make a loud pop noise, and then so what they were trying to do was scare me, and they also made it. It was a stink bomb version because it made a fart bomb, which Granny Mays and all that used to sell. So it was a prank type thing. Yeah. And what they thought was going to explode underneath me exploded all over the legs because you just go, oh, what? and then you had one of the ushers came into the cinema and was like, what's going on here? Because it was just like a noise in a quiet moment of the cinema.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I just laughed.
Payback.
Yeah.
Payback.
Yep. Anyway, that's my story with Scream. Yeah. So that was 30 years ago, so to speak.
30 years ago. Yeah. So
assholes.
What's your relationship with the Scream franchise? I think
again,
from what you told me, you said you've seen the first 4.
Yeah, well, I had the 3 on DVD back in the day when they first came out. I remember buying the box set from Kmart in Minto Mall. That's going back on. Yeah, and so I enjoyed the 3 movies, the first 3, and especially the third one, which I thought was too cartoonish or too comical because I got it because it had Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes in it, which is Jay and Silent Bob. So it kind of like broke the ice, and so it kind of broke that reality.
And Carrie Fisher.
Yes, and Jenny McCarthy. So I don't really care about her anymore. But yeah, I got that movie because it was more or less a Jay and Silent Bob thing, and I'm a big fan of that stuff. And then when I saw Scream 4 in the cinemas, that was in 2011.
Yes,
and because I remember these things because I was dating someone at the time, and when she screamed her head off, and I'm just sitting there going, "Oh, is that it?" Like it kind of like fell flat with me. So I'm going, it's either the movie was horrible or I've grown out of it. Like as in
you're not alone. 4 was very much a step down. Wes tried to come back and bring a 90s feel to it, but it didn't really work.
Okay.
And then when the brothers came back, when these new pair of these brothers came back and did number 5, Scream.
Yep.
It kind of invented that kind of stylistic way with it. So I would say if you enjoyed the first 2, if you would go and give number 5 a go, I think you might enjoy it.
All right, I'll look into it perhaps. So, but I did enjoy Scary Movie 1 and Scary Movie 2.
Well,
speaking of which, here's a dovetail with Scary Movie 6 coming out as well, and they're apparently playing the trailer for it at the beginning of Scream 7.
That was where my mindset was going, yes. So apparently they're going to be releasing the first official trailer for Scream Movie 6 in front of Scream 7. So a lot of these kind of news only happens in North America, and sometimes it's in we
tend to miss out,
We tend to miss out on a lot of these privileges. I think,
or it happens, and then the novelty's worn off, and then it's like, all right, we better do it in Australia too. But like weeks later,
I think the last time we got these kind of stuff where it was done worldwide is when you went and saw, what was it?
Any Avengers movies?
No, I think it was when you saw Avatar: Fire and Ash. They gave you a preview of the Odyssey. No, that's what it is. When you went and saw Jurassic World Rebirth, they gave you the official first look at the Odyssey, which has not gone online at all. Like you could, so if you didn't,
that's clever marketing.
Yeah, so if you didn't go see Jurassic World Rebirth in the opening 2 weekends, 2 weeks, then you wouldn't have seen that first look at the Odyssey.
Okay.
But now that we've got official trailers and things like that. But backtracking back, Scream 7, it's projected to be have a great opening box office globally. Let's see if it holds up and those projections are true. I will be part of those projections. I will be seeing it open weekend. I've got my tickets. Please keep your eyes open for our YouTube channel. You might get a little surprise on the weekend.
Yep,
so
that is
keep on that.
youtube.com/mygeekculture.
Yeah.
All right.
And that is our Entertainment Honourable Mentions for this brand new week. And we're going to go down.
And it's well deserved for it to go down because I've got a movie review. Hooray!
Yes. So we are getting into the rhythm of getting the Map Man to provide us some reviews.
Oh, and
now,
also,
one of my things is
thank you.
I want to try and get you out of vintage. I want to get you into brand new releases.
Well, this is a brand new release.
That's where I was going. So what have you got for me this week?
Well, first of all, I just want to say good day to your mate Stu, who made a comment and on our podcast channel.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
What did he say?
He just says that I have good movie choices from iTunes. So I think he's referring to Greyhound and all that. Yeah. Anyway.
Of course he is. Of course he is.
So
we
thank
love you,
Stu.
mate. We love you, Stu.
Movie that I've got for you, okay?
Yes.
Is Fackham Hall. Yes.
Is that Bridgerton Downton Abbey spoof kind of thing?
Yeah, Fackham
I saw
Hall.
the trailer for that, and I didn't know if it was legit or not.
Okay, first of all, it's Fackham Hall, and yes, it's a play on Fackham Hall, but it is one of the most funniest movies I've seen. Right, and I was going to say in a long time, but no, only last year I saw The Naked Gun, and that was pretty funny. So, okay, but Fackham Hall is, think Downton Abbey, Bridgerton, meets The Naked Gun. So, meets Scary Movie. Actually, no, Scary Movie is full of pop culture references. The Fackham Hall has got some pop culture references, but they don't rely on it. Okay.
Right.
So,
because one of the things I found with The Naked Gun, the reboot, is that it had a lot of comedy in the first two acts, but it ran out of steam by it got to the third act. You kind of got over the comedy by the time you got to the third act.
Well,
does the same thing happen with this?
No, it continues all the way through, and it is fucking hilarious. I'm going to be swearing a lot with this because...
But you did say the same thing about The Naked Gun. You said the comedy lasted all the way through.
Okay,
and so I think it's a miss...
First, do you know the comedian Jimmy Carr? The one that laughs backwards. You go, ha, ha, ha.
I think so. Give me a second. I'm going to bring... Yes, I think I... Wait, hang on.
He's a fantastic British stand-up comedian, and a lot of the stuff is just completely filthy, but like he's always dressed up in a suit. And
yes, I've seen a lot of his clips on Instagram and YouTube. Yes, I know Jimmy Carr. Yes.
Yeah, well, it's all written by him. Well, not all written by him, but he's co-written it with a lot of people. I can't say too much because it is basically spoiling it. But
well, I'm currently looking at the cast list, and I think I know 1, 2, 3. I know 4 people in the cast. So I know. Damian Lewis, he was in Band of Brothers.
And Homeland, yep.
Yep. Catherine Watterson, he was in Fantastic Beasts.
Yep.
The Draco Malfoy of my generation, Tom Felton.
Okay.
And then, of course, you got Jimmy Carr.
He is great. He's got great comedic chops, Tom Felton.
Does.
Yeah, and I've met him.
Shut up.
Yeah. Anyway, and also, what's her name from... Last Night in Soho. I've forgotten her name.
Never seen it.
Oh, you haven't seen it? Okay, there's one for you. No. What's her name? Thomas and Mackenzie. Right. So basically, I'm trying to sum it up as perfect as possible without spoiling it because it does. If I say certain wording, it will ruin it. Okay, but it's a major piss take of how the rich and pompous Brits lived, and say the Davenports, which is the family, they live in this castle big home called Fackham Hall. All right, and the daughters need to marry to keep, within. I can't say it.
Okay,
I can't say it, but they got to marry certain people, okay, to keep Fackham Hall within. I'll put it this way:
Okay.
Okay.
I'll give you a help. Okay, give me a second. I'll give you a helping hand. This is the synopsis per Letterboxd. A new porter embarks on an unlikely relationship with the youngest daughter of a prominent English family.
Okay.
Simultaneously, rivalries are spilling over into the Davenport family, led by the Lord and Lady, as they also weather the epic failure of the wedding of their eldest daughter to her katish cousin.
Okay.
That's a synopsis.
Okay. Well,
So
that's probably
the
cleanest amount there because, it's full of one-liners, slapstick, like think in the movie Airplane, right? A play on words like flying high. Shirley, you can't be serious. I am serious, and don't call me Shirley. You know that line, right?
I know the line, but I've never seen Airplane.
Or quick, you got to get him to a hospital. Hospital? What's that? It's a big thing with. Yeah, anyway, I stuffed that up. But yeah, and it's basically they got to keep Fackham Hall within the Davenport family, marriages and everything else like that. So, should I say, quote, keep it within the quote family blood, unquote. That's as much as I'm going to say.
Okay. So what's the experience you had with it?
Okay. And it's also a bit of a murder mystery too. So, but jokes plenty. Like there's multiple things going on at once, quick liners or something visual or whatever. Some of it's very predictable, but the way it's executed is fantastic. And it goes through, an hour and 34 minutes. So it's a nice, tidy laugh. If possibly repeated viewing if you missed a couple of jokes. I know I did because there was a couple of times where I just got, oh, damn, I wish I could see that again. So, and it is like Jimmy Carr's just sensational because he also plays a priest in it.
Oh, jeez.
So, and the delivery of some of the lines where the period point in a sentence is very, very important. That's all I'm going to say, right? And if you know Jimmy Carr's style, you know you're in for a treat.
He's very, no emotion on his face. He's just very straight.
But his style of humor, where there's no holds barred, there's no filter, and he can be extremely crass, but deliver it in such a pan delivery of, kind of. So, if anything, if you want a fantastic laugh, and say like your partner loves Downton Abbey, loves Bridgerton, and you're like, I can't stand this or whatever. This is the way you go. Oh, how about you watch Fackham Hall?
Okay, but
and then completely trick them.
If someone doesn't enjoy the comedy that is The Naked Gun, that kind of humor, would they and they love Downton Abbey? Would they enjoy it? They
will think it's a direct insult. They go, "Oh, this is shit because you were bagging out Downton Abbey." But when you push past it, it's a movie not to be taken seriously. And once they find the joke that lands, and you catch yourself out laughing, then it's like, oh yeah, I might have enjoyed it. So yeah.
Okay.
I think if you want a good slapstick comedy, and there's a handful of modern pop culture references and a lot of play on words,
right?
And you just go, oh, did they just say that or whatever? Or it's just like jokes where you just go, oh, that's fucking hilarious. Think Monty Python type-esque as well. So
yeah. So I have a beautiful wife who probably hate it.
Oh no, she'll love it.
Because she hates the comedy of Monty Python. She hates the comedy of Naked Gun. She hates the slapstick humor. She's very much a different style of humor. So everything you just said sounds like something that she hates.
The movie flows. It completely flows. It all joins. Yeah, it's just. We'll see. Like I'll like to challenge her for that. But anyway.
Yeah. I'll be watching it.
I reckon you should watch it, and you'll probably be only a one-watch person with this movie.
Okay. Oh yeah,
but it is right up my alley, and I gave this movie 4.5 out of 5.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why didn't you give it a 5? What didn't make the half star?
Oh, I wouldn't have minded like if they just rounded off for like the whole 2 hours, and plus I was hoping that they'll have some jokes in the credits, but they didn't. So it's basically a
very nitpick.
Huh?
Like they're very much the half star is very much a nitpick.
Yeah. So it's just down to my pedantry type thing. So, but it's pretty much a 5. I just made it 4.5 because. Fair enough.
Well, it is a recommendation I will take on board. I don't think I'll have time to see it as a theatrical release when in cinemas, but when it comes out on VOD and for rent, I think I might rent it.
Yep, please do.
I think I might have to watch it with you, so just in case some of the jokes go over my head, you can explain them to me.
No, I can't do that. No. There's a few jokes that went over my head too because I never watched Bridgerton, I never watched Downton Abbey, but I'm across all of it. But it's just like you'll love it for the dry delivery of Catherine Waterston's performances, and same with Damian Lewis. But especially certain parts with Damian Lewis, like his character's Lord and Lady Davenport. There are moments where you're like, I know you'll just laugh at it because it's pretty straightforward. I can't say it. It'll ruin it.
I know. So, it will come out soon.
I know it'll be a visual joke, which I know you'll get it.
Cool.
So I know you'll laugh at it.
All right. I'll give it a go. All
right, cool. So that's my review.
That's
Fackham
fantastic,
Hall.
mate. Fackham Hall.
Yeah.
That is fantastic. I cannot wait to I know you give a lot of you give a lot of recommendations, but I think this is one that I think.
And also, you'll love Tom Felton's performance in it too. Awesome. So yeah,
love it
because they're all like, all I can think of is when they were doing all this stuff, right? Like on set, I bet they were trying their best not to laugh or crack or anything like that, because the performances are fantastic
and very dry.
Yeah, and very dry and very neutral on the face. Like their poker faces were strong. Yeah,
beautiful. Okay, great. I will put that note down when it comes out of VOD. I'll make sure I put it on the list. Okay, we're going to wrap things up with lastly what shouldn't take too long, but I wanted to finish off this amazing return back to form with our podcast with a review of a TV series that just had its finale as of recording this podcast on Monday. I am talking about the latest spin-off series of the Westeros mythos and universe. That is A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. Ooh. Now, I'm not an avid fan of Game of Thrones as some people else out there. When I first tried to get introduced to Game of Thrones, I couldn't get past 3 episodes, and then it wasn't until I got told a bit later on to give it another go. And when I eventually got through past those few episodes, I got hooked and I was a big fan and loved it. And then when they brought out House of the Dragon, I was excited and expectations were exceeded. Absolutely loved it. The second season was good. Didn't think it was good as the first, but yeah. Now they're bringing out this third series. And what intrigued me about the series was the fact that it wasn't grand in scale. This was just basically around this one knight, Sir Duncan Tall, and his little squire, I think he called him, Egg. And it's a short series. It's only 5 or 6 episodes. Each episode only goes for about 30 minutes or so. And but in typical Westeros G.R. Martin fashion, it's bloody, it's filthy, it's all over the place. So my overall thoughts about the series, I enjoyed it.
Yep.
It is number 3 in my series of the Game of Thrones kind of universe, but I still enjoyed it. I like the fact that we had a series where you had a really likable character of Sir Duncan. He's a character that everybody knows, a person like him, which is very unusual when it comes to the Game of Thrones universe. And it's someone who is you can get behind. He's noble. He's forthright, and he lives up to the code that is what it is to be a knight. It is protect the innocent and honor.
So is
And
that not a round table, dance around
Yeah.
the navel, do routines, chorus? Sorry.
Yeah. So I enjoyed the series because I liked the characters and I liked him and the dynamic he had with the young actor playing Egg. I thought was brilliant. Their chemistry and the way they played off each other was fantastic. How he was brought into the kind of world, like there definitely were little nuances not telling you are in the world of Westeros because you get the introduction of the Targaryens in there. You get name drops from the Baratheons are in there. You get talks about the different realms and that kind of stuff. And so it definitely does show we're in that world.
Nice.
along with the filthy, definitely the filthy.
Well, can I ask you one thing, right? So you've watched Game of Thrones and you've watched House of the Dragon.
Yes.
Now, do you think he's gone too far now with the whole thing? No?
No.
Okay.
There is the good, I think, not as vast as Star Wars, but I think the
universe.
That's what I liked about this series. This series is because it's based on a regular knight in the Seven Kingdoms. He's not in it's not a big political stage between big rivaling families like the House of Dragon. It's not this big thing that needs to be going on. It's just based around this one character who's trying to be noble. He's trying to be a knight for the Seven. He wants to fight for the kingdoms and be honorable and be true and do everything that his mentor passed on to him. And so I like the fact that we're having a story that's not big and grand scale. We can have them as we have at the moment. We have House of the Dragon, and sometimes we just needed to go. You know what? What about the regular folk that's going on? Like we always know what's going on with the royalties and things like that in Westeros, but what about the regular folk, the regular knights who are the white coats and these regular people trying to become soldiers and things like that and trying to make it in the world. So I kind of like that fact of we're getting a different series like that. And like I said, the tone is different in some aspects, but it's not like this big grand adventure. It is, I think there is some points where I watched it with my wife and she didn't enjoy it as much because the story was misconjointed, she found, and things like that, where you got 6 episodes and not a lot happens. Like the guy gets up, he goes to the tournament, he wants to fight in the tournament, something happens, and then it's very quickly over and done with, and not a lot happens. But I like the fact that it's just building on that character and the narrative and the tone of that as well. And the way they leave it is very much about it. Now, this series has been It's been going on for the last few weeks. The finale happened a couple of days ago. I will go into a little bit of spoiler territory on the finale. Now, before I do so, have you got any interest in Westeros in Game of Thrones?
Zero.
Okay.
I have not watched any. Oh, sorry, I lie. I've watched the first episode of Game of Thrones back in the day, and I went nah. And I know it's a slow burn, blah blah blah, but I've gone so far away from it. So, but I keep across it all.
Okay, so I think from what I've know is that my wife has also read the book that this thing is based on, and she said that when she finished reading the book, she said the first few chapters were great, but then the rest of the book is completely boring. And how it works is she found that when Sir Duncan goes to the tournament, that part is all exciting. As soon as he finishes the tournament and goes on the journey with Egg out into the world, it gets really boring because all they're going is from town to town to town, and it's very boring. And that's pretty much how the season ends. It's pretty much the tournament's over. He's gone through and won the trial of 7 or whatever it's called, and then he's going on the journey with Egg now, and he's gonna mentor and be the knight, and Egg's gonna be his squire and kind of tutelage him in a way of becoming a man and be right and be just. And the good twist that Egg is actually a Targaryen, which was a good little twist. I knew something about that character was going to be like that, and when they mentioned in the middle of the season where about his hair being lost because the young kid is bald, and when they're saying, "Oh, but what happened to your hair?" I was going Targaryen because Targaryens are well known for having the white hair, and that's a stigma for that family. And so I kind of picked that within halfway through the season before, like halfway when it was being mentioned. So, and then the fact that the season ends with Egg going on the journey with Sir Duncan, which he wasn't supposed to because his uncle, who is the his father is pretty much a top Targaryen, pretty much said no, and kind of thought it's going to be interesting how they're going to do narrative-wise into season 2, because as for what my wife has said is that the rest of the book is very, very boring, but what narrates in a book doesn't usually translate to a TV. So you got to find a ways to make it intriguing enough for an audience to keep up with the characters and the series and the world. So I want to see how they're going to do that to keep the audience interested. So I still gave the series a thumbs up. It's still as I said, Game of Thrones excluding season 8. House of Dragon is fantastic, and I wouldn't say Night of the Seven Kingdoms is absolutely wow fantastic, but it is still a good solid entry into the universe of Westeros, and I did enjoy for what they provided, something different and something narratively changing within the characters that we're kind of used to. So if anyone was on the fence about Night of the Seven Kingdoms, I would say if you're a fan of the universe and you want to see something different that's not huge in scale and like a grounded character story, then I would say give Night of the Seven Kingdoms a go.
Sweet. Excellent. Thank you for that, Reece.
Thank you.
All right. That wraps things up for this episode. Wow, we've gone through a lot. So yes. Hope you can all digest that and, check out whatever you want. And hopefully our reviews have helped guide with you with some choices at least. So
what happens? You should not read from the book.
Nice. All right. Thanks for coming back as well, Reece. Instead of just disappearing overseas. It's good to have you back, but also great for me to try and squeeze in a couple of movies as well. So yeah, right. So again, thank you very much for listening and subscribing and following. Check us out on YouTube as well, My Geek Culture on YouTube. So you can see some exclusive YouTube only videos. But stay subscribed to this pod. Thank you very much. And we'll catch you in the next episode of Reece's Reviews. Thanks very much, Reece. My name is Matt, and this has been a Reece's Review podcast for mygeekculture.com.au, produced by Matt Fulton Productions, mattfulton.com.au.
Thank you, everybody, for listening in. I hope everyone has a great evening, great weekend whenever you are listening to this podcast, and be kind to yourselves, keep smiling, and as always, my friends and family, may the Force be with you. Perfect. Bingo!